I'm Kim.
And I'm Brad.
We're 6260 Ohana, California, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons at Disney's Boardwalk Inn and Villas.
Yeah, so we got a lot of questions. Is the food good? Is the entertainment fun? And most importantly, did we like it?
So this is one of those resorts where we actually had reservations a few times with DVC and we'd gone back and forth, and this year we decided to try it, and so we'll get into what we thought.
So let's go ahead and start with the pros of Disney's Boardwalk. First pro.
Theming. That is so much fun to have like a East Coast Atlantic boardwalk kind of feel to it, and it's different.
Yeah, for us being from the West Coast, it had a total different vibe for us compared to what we're used to for boardwalks.
It does, so it's kind of nice, and then at night it's all lit up and there's music. You can find little peaceful, beautiful parts of the resort. It's just amazing.
Yeah, we have really enjoyed the theming. So let's go on to our next pro, which is the rooms.
So at the beginning of the year, we stayed at a garden room villa, and I had no idea these existed before we went to go look at staying at the boardwalk, and I was blown away.
Yeah, they were actually really cool, walking into your own private entrance and the whole garden feel, I guess, of some of the rooms. Some of the rooms didn't have quite as big a garden area, but the one we had,
it was just gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It was peaceful. It reminds you of a beach cottage.
Anyways, they are so unique. We have a video doing a room tour of that. We'll link it down below. But one of the things is it's really private. It doesn't seem like you're at a Disney resort. These are only for 2 people, so that's kind of unique for these rooms. They're large, they're 2 stories, and they're part of concierge.
Yeah, so it could be a honeymoon or second honeymoon or just a couple getaway.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's talk about other rooms, which is the DVC Rooms.
Okay, so that's this place we stayed the second time we went this year, and I was impressed. They seemed like they had a larger layout than across the way, let's say, a beach club.
Yeah, I was confused because I was like, wow, these feel like I have a lot more room. I'm not sure in size-wise if there are. I'll put the room size down below, but to me, just walking in and the feeling of it, it felt like you had more room in them.
The other thing about it that was kind of cool about this is if you're a DVC member or renting points and you decide to stay there, the garden view rooms and the pool view rooms are the same points. The only thing that's extra is if you get a boardwalk view room. So I feel like if we got a nice, really beautiful river view, and so that was kind of a nice bonus. We paid for a standard view, but it felt more luxurious.
Yeah, so we'll put our room tour down below, link down below once that is released. So let's go ahead and go to our next pro, which there's a ton of food options.
Okay, this is awesome because it is that outdoor boardwalk. There's tons of restaurants out on it. There's food carts. There's just tons to eat, and so you have lots of options. And some of the nice things is when they have those windows or quick services, people from your family can grab from different areas and then kind of meet outside a big area and all eat, and everybody's happy. So it's really good if you have a family of picky eaters.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is this has a Disney signature down to quick service available, which gives you a whole bunch of options of what level you want to eat at and how fancy you want to be, and maybe not fancy at all.
So we'll start out with the fanciest. It's a Disney signature restaurant. It's Flying Fish.
Yeah, we really enjoy our time there. Look for our review. It was a great surprise restaurant for us.
I'll link that in the comments too.
And we definitely recommend it. So let's go to our second restaurant, which is kind of, I would say, just a step below Flying Fish. Not a signature, but still a nice restaurant.
Yeah, that was really great. And it's not that hard to get reservations the same day. I think we walked up and were able to get them. We got that at Tatcherina Al Forno. That also has a morning princess themed character dining, so that's kind of a nice option to have too.
So yeah, we didn't do the breakfast, but we did do a chance to have dinner there. We'll link the review down below. And so let's go on to our next one, which is the Bellevue Lounge.
Okay, this is such a cool place. It's actually up near the lobby, and it's based on like 1930s radio shows. So it was like drama hours they used to have.
If you ever listen on Sirius XM, the classic radio shows, that's what you're kind of getting. And it is a fun place, and we enjoyed it. It is mostly just really quick food.
It is. They have things like in the morning, like muffins and bagels and things like that. And at lunch, they had wraps and salads, and just really quick and easy.
Talking about wrap and salad, there's also the Boardwalk Deli.
So that hadn't quite opened when we were there. I think that's a great option because once again, that gives you more things that people can eat.
And then, of course, you want desserts, right? So there's also the Boardwalk Creamery.
Okay, that looked amazing. There was always a long line. Brad and Hayden ate there. I stayed back and got some rest.
Actually, it was Hayden and Mimi who went there. They snuck off without me.
Oh, that's not
They
nice.
said they liked it though, so we'll go with that. Another place that a lot of adults like, and we saw lines even in the rain, was Boardwalk's Joe's Marvelous Margaritas.
Okay, we didn't have a chance to go there, but it looked amazing. So not only did they have margaritas, they have smoothies, and they kind of have like, I almost kind of want to say like appetizer-ish type foods, like nachos and things like that you'd want with a margarita.
Yeah, just really small bites to help absorb that alcohol when you're drinking that margarita.
Good happy hour type place.
And the next place is, well, it's just simple. Pizza Window.
Okay, I did grab a pizza out of there when I went back early, and it was good.
And again, it's another place that has lines. So any place that has lines, it must be good, right?
Exactly. So if you're like us, somebody might want a sandwich and, be a little more health conscious, but the rest of the family wants a pizza, you have both options there.
And then there's more options. They keep on coming. There's the Big River Grill and Brew Work.
Okay, I did eat there. I had a good little meal. I know this place doesn't get the best of reviews, but I actually had the fish tacos and they were pretty good.
Okay, so it's an option. It's there. So for more dessert options, you have the funnel cake cart.
Right, how can you have like an Atlanta City type boardwalk without having funnel cakes?
Yeah, it's just a requirement, right? There's one shop that has not opened as of yet, and that's the Cake Bake Shop by Gwendolyn Rogers.
So that is supposed to be opening. She has other places, and it's supposed to be amazing. I want to go back and try it.
Yeah, and that's
when
where
they
the
open.
old and that's where the old ESPN was. So I'm kind of interested to see how that is. Okay, well, we got all through the food. Now let's get to the entertainment.
Okay, so one of the cool thing is they have boardwalk entertainers. They've had people juggling, doing magic tricks.
Just a wide
Yeah.
variety. And it was a lot of fun when we were coming back from Epcot at night, walking, and we just see it. It was great to see.
There's always a good crowd, so it's fun to have entertainment options.
And then there's another couple on this that we have not done. One is the Atlantic Dance Hall.
Okay, so that's not open all the time because sometimes that does get rented out for special events, weddings, things like that. But I've heard nothing but good things about that either.
So, and then there's also Jelly Rolls, which is
Dueling Piano Bar. So that is, I don't know how we haven't been. I've heard good things about it, but I've also heard sometimes it's busy, sometimes not so busy. We have tried to go like 5 times. Just in our plans, it's never worked out.
One day.
We will.
We
at
have
one point.
goals. We have goals to go.
Because we actually love dueling pianos, so this is definitely on our list.
Okay, and then there is also one of our favorite places for a bar, which is
Abracada Bar.
Yeah, so it's a fun place to go to. It's a great place to grab a couple of drinks and just relax before
Yeah.
dinner or whatever and just kind of look at the walls.
Okay, yeah, they have some unique features in the wall, a little magical. And not only that, they have some drinks. They have, if you want a special magical effect, order the Conjurita, which is really good.
Yeah, and they really have a great drinks, and you also can visit the ladder while you're there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then there's also the Sideshow Games Arcade.
So that's just like your generalized arcade that's around the resorts at Disney, but the kids love them.
And what's actually really cool that Hayden really enjoyed are the free old arcades that are around the resort.
Yeah, there's a lot like in the lobby or next to that Bellevue Lounge. They're kind of like the old ones where like if you'd press it, you'd figure out what your strength was, things like that.
Yeah, and then
Like carnival old arcade games, if you will.
Yeah, and, so those are just neat to see around, and they work for free. You don't have to pay for them. Another great thing is movies on the lawn.
So they had a big wide open space and it looked like a great place and it wasn't overly crowded. Just a nice beautiful view.
Yeah, it was great. And the other thing I really liked about it, and like a lot of them are on the lawns or on natural surfaces, you have a lot of bugs. This is on a fake grass area, which looked like you wouldn't have any bugs. It's comfortable, and it's kind of like in the middle of the whole resort. So it looked like a lot of fun.
So also going up front by the boardwalk is you could rent Surrey bikes, which if you're into that, that could be a lot of fun, something different to do.
Yeah, just make sure you use that bell because we almost got ran over by a couple of them going up and down the boardwalk, but they did look like they were having a blast doing it.
Could. Actually, that could be a con if you're walking. So you could almost get ran over by people on the Surrey bikes.
And another great thing about Boardwalk as well, you can walk over to a bridge and see the fireworks from Epcot.
So you can see those harmonious fireworks, or even like us one night, we real quick jumped, we had park hoppers, we have our annual pass. So we just kind of jumped into Epcot and went and watched Around the World Showcase and got there like 10 minutes before. And it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then also what's great is its location, the Boardwalk. You can't beat it for transportation, like you got the boats.
Okay, it goes to Beach Club, Yacht Club, over to
Swan and Dolphin.
And then over to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of really cool to do. And then you also got one that goes to Epcot. The boats could be a lot of fun if you're just looking for that day cruise, I guess.
Yeah, so it could be really peaceful if you just want to relax. The nice thing is if you want to say, oh, I want to go have dinner down at Swan and Dolphin, it is walkable. But if it's hot, you could also jump on the boat and get down there too.
And there's also the Skyliner.
So it's on the other side, you have to walk across the bridge and then it's over towards the beach club. But if you wanted to go to dinner at the Riviera, if you wanted to take it down to Hollywood Studios, that's really easy to do.
And talking about Hollywood Studios, you can actually walk easily to Hollywood Studios. It is a bit of a longer walk if all that transportation's. And we've seen the Skyliner at night where it's really backed up. Sometimes this might be a faster way to go. And then also just a quick walk to Epcot.
So I would put with a warning, if it's hot outside in the middle of summer, I probably wouldn't do that. But if it was later at night and a little bit cooler, I would say we've done that before.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
That's to the Hollywood Studios, not to Epcot. Epcot's a short jaunt.
Yeah. But you could go walk literally all the way from Hollywood Studios to Epcot, but that would be like a 20-minute walk or more.
And say you don't find what you exactly want at the Boardwalk. I mean, there's a ton of things there. Say you don't want to go to the Boardwalk Creamery. You want to go to Beaches and Cream for ice cream. It's a short walk over to the Beach and Yacht Club.
So that's kind of a nice thing is there's so much. It's very central. It is a large resort and there's two pools. So you have your main pool, which is themed, and then more of a quiet pool that's backed by the Garden Villas and some of the DVC rooms in the back and on the other side of the resort. The main pool has a little bar that's kind of a carousel themed. That's Leaping Horse Liberations. I've heard nothing but good things. I walk by there. They have some music playing that's kind of like carnival themed. And it's just looked like everybody was having the best time.
Another pro is that main pool is they got rid of the clown face. I think that could be going into our con. It could have been a con at one time, but now it isn't. But
well, we'll get into. I have a caveat on that one.
Yeah, so let's get into the cons. Which we'll start with the pool theming since we're already talking about pools.
Okay, they used to have this big, huge clown face that the water slide went through the mouth. Might bring back some scary clown phobias or It movie.
We should put it out for Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, it freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. I was not a fan of the clown pool, but now they've redone it to kind of like a Mickey and Minnie on like a Mickey short type cartoon. It's just like two cardboards or two pieces of board that are themed like that. So I kind of feel like it is a Disney theme, but it's a little out of place. I would have liked to see them do something with like Pete from like Goofy films because they've done some carnival type stuff with him before. So that might have been a little bit of a better choice.
Yeah. So kind of take that as you will. I don't think it was a overly exciting pool like you have at some places, but it's there. Also, Kim was talking about the theming. The Boardwalk really doesn't have a whole lot of Disney theming in it.
So there's a little bit, like if you had a DVC room, the pull down bed, I think it had Dumbo, things like that. There's a little tiny bit, but it's not like if you were going to go over to Art of Animation, you weren't going to go over to, I don't know, there's some of the, like, even Grand Floridian has Mickey and Minnie and they're like grandeur, or, you know, things like that. It's just underwhelming.
Another con is, and it may sound weird us hearing us say this, but it's the concierge.
Okay, so when we stayed in the Garden Room Villas, it's a lot, they're kind of at the back of the property, kind of hard to find if you don't know where you're looking for them. And you had to go, the closest for us was to go up 3 flights of stairs and like down along a hallway. The concierge was closer for those that were actually in the hotel room side of concierge.
Yeah, and that can be a good thing for those who have concierge because it's like a enclosed area that's all concierge. It makes it nice and easy. But for us, being somewhere else, it was a lot harder to get to. So that could be a con. Talking about these long walks and everything, this is a hard thing with Boardwalk is there's long walks to your rooms, and it's a confusing layout.
Yeah, the first time we went there, when we stayed at the Garden Room Villas, like there was no help. There was no signs. They're like, go through this, go past the Bellevue, and down the stairs, and out and around, and
go down this little elevator here, and you'll be right there. Well, we ended up in the main front of the boardwalk, and really confused where we're going. So if you're not really paying attention to those signs.
Well, and if you really don't know, I would ask somebody to help you a little bit more on this one and even if you get up in the rooms and trying to figure out which signs and hallways veer off a lot, and it's just confusing.
Yeah, and so talking about the small elevators, those elevators there's not a whole lot of elevator banks.
They're few and far between.
And there's only a few small elevators that go down to the main. If you're at ECV, it could be difficult a little bit.
Right. So my mom had one when we stayed in a 2-bedroom, and she would have to go like way, way out of her way to get to the elevators, like way far away. And it was kind of she was frustrated.
Yeah. So another con we're talking about all this going around and everything. This is an outdoor resort for the most part.
So there are hallways inside, but all the like entertainment, there's not like the lobby where you connect to quick service, things like that. You have to go outside and around and things like that. So it's not like if it's raining, your quick services might be harder to get food. You have to go out in the rain to get to the windows or the carts.
Hence why we're saying about Margarita Joe's. Yeah, there was a line in the rain and it was downpouring. It's just difficult if you want to get food and stuff outside because there's only one indoor place to go. Okay, let's get to our transportation. And this is kind of a weird thing, but let's talk with buses.
So you share with the beach club and yacht club, and especially like my mom with her ECV, if they were already full, then you had to wait twice as long because it's servicing 3 moderate size resorts, and there were long waits sometimes.
And sometimes the buses were completely full when they're there. And another con is the boats. Those boats may seem like a great idea, but they actually take a lot of time. This is where we're talking about when we walked from Hollywood Studios back to the resort. Sometimes it was quicker than the boats.
So yeah, because they stop at 4 resorts on the way down.
Yeah, so that could take a lot of time. So there is another con / kind of pro, I guess the way to put it, that we kind of saved this for the last, and that's the shops.
So the shops there's a few options, like your usual like
big outdoor, or the big shop that has all the Disney merchandise in it, actually has some bakery items and stuff like that.
It's kind of all rolled into one there.
Yeah, and it's actually a great shop, but the bad thing is, again, it's outside.
Well, you have to go outside to get to it.
Yeah, so again, when it's raining, and it's Florida, it's gonna rain, you can get wet, but they do have an option for an indoor, smaller area of shop, but unfortunately, it's limited hours, and it's actually really small.
It's tiny. It's like a little closet.
Yeah.
And the hours, it doesn't open up till late afternoon, closes early evening. It kind of feels like that place, like if you were rushing to go get toiletries or something kind of last minute. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the big shop that has everything. It's tiny.
Yeah.
There's one more shop we haven't mentioned. Because we are just putting in the shops, pros and cons, the Wiling Gallery. Just because it's so expensive, there's all this beautiful artwork, and Wiling Gallery artwork.
That's a con for me because every time she goes into it, we end up with one of these usually.
We've only walked in a few times because Brad's like, we don't need any more artwork. And he's probably right, but we have a few pieces. We love them all, but it is a dangerous place to walk into.
But it's really cool going and see the artwork.
If you're enjoying this video,
please like,
subscribe,
and follow along with our Ohana. So what are our overall thoughts about the boardwalk?
You know, this is one of those resorts I kept going back and forth on where DVC, I want to stay at every resort. and I would always find a reason to stay somewhere else.
Yeah, we kept getting the rooms layout's similar to the beach club. Beach club is so much better. You get a lot of noise in the background from other voices coming in, and we're like, well, we'll wait.
Not only that, there'd be times, oh, this opened up, or my wait list came through, so I want to do that instead. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change it again if we have it on scheduled, because we actually enjoyed it.
I really like it's such a central place. There's so many options for food, entertainment. Even though there are long walks, I don't feel like that's such a negative to not go there.
And also to be able to get into it, like the beach club is extremely hard to get into. Wasn't that bad.
No, this is one of those places that if the more popular DVCs are full, you're more likely to find a room. Here, I feel like it's that quiet, underrated DVC resort.
Yeah, so overall, we really enjoyed it. It's one of those ones that came back and surprised us again. So with that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye and
find your magic. Bye, everyone.